The aging process is one which is unavoidable, and as such, 20th century research focused more on preventative treatments in the adult years prior to the age of 65. However, as human longevity, particularly in the first world nations, has increased, so has the need for ongoing care of older adults. In this current climate, with 5 generations of Americans now in the active workforce, older adults are interested in retiring later, continuing to stay involved with social activities, and increasing their physical and mental stamina. Exercise has long been a way for humans to maintain a healthy weight, release endorphins, and work off excess stress. But now, further research on exercise and its effects on the cognitive functions of older adults is growing. In fact, this research supports the position that not only can an older adult benefit physically and emotionally from regular exercise, their cognitive skills and ability to prevent, or at least mitigate dementia in the short term can be improved. A 2018 study from Gayson et al. Stated in its abstract that, quote, physical activity, or PA, is known to improve cognitive function at older age through processes of neuroplasticity. Yet, emerging studies suggest that larger cognitive gains may be induced when PA interventions are combined with cognitive activity. End quote. The authors state that exercise, particularly a combination of strength and aerobic exercise, quote, is known to play an important role in the protection against cognitive decline and dementia through processes of neuroplasticity. End quote. This is a critical step toward developing new treatment modalities based around increasing neuroplasticity, even as it wanes in older adults. Furthermore, the effects need to be in concert with one another to truly see gains with the interventions. Moreover, the authors suggest, quote, effects were not moderated by session frequency, session duration, intervention length, or study quality. Also, no differences in effects were found between older adults with and without mild cognitive impairments. End quote. This important piece of data gives credence to the idea that any interventions can make a significant difference in improving cognition over time, but that multiple interventional processes are needed for quicker cognitive repair and retention. Though this study in particular showed small incremental improvements, the researchers conclude that, quote, combined PA and CA programs should be promoted as a modality for preventing as well as treating cognitive decline in older adults. Sufficient cognitive challenge seems more important to obtain cognitive effects than high doses of intervention sessions. End quote. In tandem with future studies in the same field and building on existing research study, development and practice, creating an overall wellness plan for seniors that includes regular exercise may be key in long-term cognitive functioning. Another 2018 study, Exercise Interventions to Improve Cognitive Performance in Older Adults, Potential Psychological Mediators to Explain Variation in Findings, raises questions about the verifiability of the results of the studies involving elderly cognition improvement via exercise. The authors argue that, although, quote, evidence suggests that exercise interventions can improve cognitive performance in older adults and prevent dementia, end quote, the variability of different types of interventional impact is inconsistent as, quote, different types of social interaction, mental engagement, and feedback alter the psychological impact of the exercise, end quote. Though the authors assent to the idea that physical exercise undertaken by older individuals is still a worthwhile endeavor for its general health benefits, more robust study is needed to analyze in detail the different dimensions the regions of cognitive performance will have included individual factors such as, quote, self-efficacy, attitudes and self-perceptions of aging, perceived control manifesting in self-fulfilling prophecy, causal attributions of memory problems and mood, end quote. The authors continue, stating, quote, the mechanisms of these mediating relationships are unclear and further research is needed to investigate them. In addition, the magnitude of the effect of psychological mediators and their relative contribution compared with physiological mechanisms in this context should be further investigated, end quote. Researchers note that because dementia risk is not entirely based in genetic makeup, specific environmental factors are more at play than once thought. For example, as the authors cite, the presence of the APOE4 allele is a risk factor for early onset dementia. Quote, "Not all individuals who have this allele develop dementia, and not all individuals who develop dementia have this allele." End quote. Because of this, the authors believe that environmental factors, such as occupation and socioeconomic status, as well as lifestyle factors including diet, smoking, social engagement, and physical activity, can be attributes of the onset of the disease, yet are modifiable through exercise and overall wellness. It should be noted that many studies demonstrate that, quote, "Physical exercise can help to maintain cognitive abilities into old age, but not all treatment studies found positive effects." End quote. Due to this spectrum of efficacy, the authors believe more research is necessary beyond the anecdotal state to verify the results. Nonetheless, the ongoing research is critical. The June 2018 study by Gomes-Osman et al. Used random appraisal in, quote, "controlled trials proposing exercise to influence cognition in older adults," end quote. These randomized samples allowed the researchers to, quote, "assess the methodologic quality using Cochrane criteria, describe various exercise dose measures and assess their relationship with improved cognitive performance, and identify consistent patterns of reported effects on cognition," end quote. The researchers in this study were able to see marked improvement in patients who committed to several sessions of exercise per week, and that there is a, quote, "significant correlation with total hours," end quote. Specifically, the study found that aerobic and strength training exercise, quote, "for at least 52 hours is associated with improved cognitive performance in older adults with and without cognitive impairment," end quote. In addition, these results continued to stabilize with study participants over the months immediately after the end of the official trial. The best news for older individuals is that as we continue to see lifespans increase yearly over the medians of first world countries, there are even more tools in the arsenal to stave off the effects of diminished cognition. The brain is a great place to start, as research has developed an ever-increasing use of mind and memory training with the elderly. A daily crossword can greatly improve memory retention. Still, providing the body with the attention it needs can be as worthwhile at age 75 as it is at 25. More importantly, it can provide us with another tool to strengthen our body's natural abilities to ward off dementia's effects.